thing. Welcome back to the show. This is our official beginning because we literally just spent the last
25 minutes.
No, it was like 5 minutes. We're not gonna. I promise it was only 5 minutes. We realized after 3 minutes that we weren't recording.
Those 30 seconds were horrible.
Yeah, I'm so glad we only wasted 30 seconds. I mean, would you imagine if we had spent more than 10 seconds, Peyton?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that would have been bad. Anyway, we took a break last week because I'll be honest, we were pretty lazy. Like,
had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, I was lazy. I admit that. I was like, all right, yeah, we got done with one podcast. I feel pretty proud about that. Kind of don't feel like doing it again this week.
Plus, we had Nazis to kill. Zombie Nazis.
That's true. We had we downloaded a new game, Zombie Army Trilogy, because it was on sale and we're poor. And I think we're like the only two people who play it, because I tried playing it like once when you weren't in the room.
And there was no one on the match.
There was no one. Like, I spent like 20 minutes trying to like find someone else. Absolutely no one. It was insane. But yeah, like, I think we got some reasonable feedback from our first podcast, though. Okay, I didn't tell you this. Even whenever we did our like 10 seconds of accidentally not recording, but there were a couple guys. I'm gonna leave their names out, who like are huge Batman fans, who I'm friends with. One of them you know, another one you don't. And they both contacted me. One texted me, the other one like told me to my face that I misunderstood Batman so badly.
I was in the car for that one.
That it was so cringeworthy that he, like, yeah, that guy that we both know, he had to stop watching. The other guy who texted me said, like, I want to have a talk with you.
Are we out of touch? No, it is they who are wrong.
Yes, I mean, oh my lord, like, I remember, I forgot what it was that we were watching this morning, but I remember watching something, and it made me think, basically that, yeah, essentially they're wrong and we're kind of right, and here's why. I think it was off of Cracked, but one of the guys on a Cracked video made a point that superhero movies and stuff like that, they're for kids. Like, yeah, maybe we took it too seriously. Maybe we took Batman too seriously with the whole, like, conspiracy theory, right? But, like, are we doing anything worse than what the movie industry is doing right now? There's literally, like, a new series, a new sequence of DC and Marvel films being branded as rated R for adults only. And you have to sit back and think to yourselves, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? These are characters that we've grown up with since childhood, understanding the fact that, no, they're not for adults. After a certain point in time, I need to grow up, because this dude that I'm reading right now still wears his underwear over his pants. There's an issue there, wouldn't you say?
I do that all the time. I don't see what the big deal is.
I mean, we're college students, so, like, that's just how we keep our underwear fresh. We wear it on the outside, you know. But people who save the planet, no. Be a little bit more mature. Anyway, but going on to today's topic, essentially, as promised from 2 weeks ago, politics. And so, yeah, get ready for the cringe and the shitstorm, because politics in 2016 has taken such a nosedive. I mean, we talked about clowns, right? Clowns running in the streets. Clowns not just on Halloween.
And this week, it's about clowns running for presidency.
Right? Clowns running for president. Vote Mr. Bonkers 2016. But, so, going into the sound clip of the week, we have one clown talking about women.
Whatever you want. Grab him by the pussy. Grab him by the pussy. Grab him by the pussy. Grab him by the pussy.
Peyton, what do you grab them by?
I don't know. I don't think I heard it enough times there.
I think we're supposed to grab them by the pussy. I could be wrong about that. And would you say as Trump claims that he's the one candidate that respects women the most and no one else does?
I mean, I've always wondered what it was for, but now I know it's like a little hook that you grab them by.
Oh Lord, oh no, nope, 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 nope. But yeah, the media portrays Trump as such an asshole and a douchebag, and is that liberal bias or?
I think we can all agree he's a douchebag.
He's a douchebag. The man is such an asshole. I feel like he's stunted in many ways, just in maturity and like in so many other ways. He's stunted. He's crazy. But like, what the media does though is that they take clips like that, present him as such a misogynist, as such a terrible, horrible, like, oh, he's a Hitler among women, you know? And then set up Hillary Clinton as the feminist warrior, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would a feminist warrior even use, like, as a weapon?
Maybe like a baby rattle in the teething ring.
Okay, I can kind of see the... Wait, what exactly is a teething ring?
You know, one of those little cool circle-like things.
Okay, circle.
Yeah.
Baby rattle. That could be seen as phallic. Like a spear or sword. So she couldn't use...
So what do we give them? Like some kind of Wonder Woman Amazonian weapons? She'll just like throw nets everywhere.
Oh my lord, I just realized that like... Yeah, Wonder Woman has like very feminist weapons. Quote unquote. Literally just rope that she ties up men with. That feels like a... Oh, that feels dirty. Can you imagine the comic book writers? It's like, see, this is why you can't take comic books seriously like the movie industry does, you know? Because it's just a fucking shitstorm. Like, what? Like, okay, it's going to be this, like, really scantily clad superhero woman, right? And she'll tie up all the bad guys in rope. And they'll like it. Jim, I don't think that'll fly with the kids. No. They'll like it. Alright, Jim, we're going with your idea. 20 years later, they're making a rated X Wonder Woman movie. Wait, where were we? What were we?
Politics.
Oh, right. Feminist warrior Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
Right. So, so...
This is going very differently from the first take.
I know, right? I mean, our first take was only like, what, 3 seconds?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't... You know, we're just going to keep talking about, like, what we're talking about. We're going to forget that we ever did the first take.
Politics, Hillary Clinton.
Oh, Lord. But yeah, like, is Hillary Clinton a feminist warrior? Like, if you were a woman, and the only thing you cared about in this election, Peyton, was the fact that you're a woman. Because that's what everyone should do. They should just reduce themselves to a label and worry about that label.
Let's see, would I vote for Hillary Clinton? On one hand, she's a woman like me. But on the other hand,
she's a terrible woman?
I got nothing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And, I mean, people may argue, like, no, I love Hillary. Like, there are a shit ton of celebrities who just like, no, I love the fact that she's a woman and she's in power. And it's like, okay, well, what if she was like a Satanist witch queen? Like she literally got to power by sucking the souls out of other human beings, which I'm pretty sure is a legitimate conspiracy theory out there. Would it be okay then? Like, oh, it's okay though, because she's a woman. It's like, okay. But it just brings up the case that she's not a great defender of women. And this brings me up to the next sound clip we have, coming from 1975. So even worse than the whole 2005 soundbite thing, you know, grab her by the pussy. Like, 1975, even older. But still her, though. Back when she was a lawyer, there was a pedophile who raped a young girl, of course under the age, and approached Hillary asking for her to be his lawyer. And instead of, you know, kicking up the shitstorm like feminists would expect, she said yes. Well, you know, people would argue, okay, well, maybe she believed that he was innocent, right? Right? You know, that makes sense. No, I'm gonna play this soundbite and just gonna let you judge.
Took a lot of pictures. I had to solve it. She passed. Forever to spend my
It's kind of hard to hear, but what this transcript says, and you look at the transcript and you listen to it, you really hear it. He took a lie detector test. I had him take a polygraph, which he passed, which forever destroyed my faith in polygraphs. She defended a man who, even after taking a polygraph test, she firmly believed was still a pedophile. Still defended him, helped him get off, and laughs about it. Laughs about it. Feminist Warrior 2016. Hashtag I'm with her. Right, Peyton?
Yep. Oh, that reminds me of that one meme that they had on Facebook after the grab the pussy thing. It's like,
I don't remember it.
so, what was that guy's name? Brock Turner? The
Right.
campus
Yeah,
guy?
Brock Turner. Cis scum.
It was like, Donald Trump is the reason why we have men like Brock Turner. And the top comment for that was, Hillary Clinton is the reason they get no jail time.
But, I mean, it's legitimate, though, you know? On one hand, we have a man who really is misogynistic, you know? But on the other hand, we have people screaming like, oh, all men are patriarchal and we just need to go with whatever woman is present. But here's Hillary Clinton, who's a horrible example of women's rights, of women's respect, of just overall. And it's not just this 1975 case. You spend a few minutes just looking on Google, looking at the allegations against Bill Clinton, not just for Monica Lewinsky, but for the rape allegations, and you'll find that many of the rape victims say that Hillary essentially bullied them. She was cold. She did not, come to their aid as a fellow sister of the feminist movement. She basically helped to pay them off to keep them quiet.
Very dark.
It's really fucked up. So I guess going back to our thought experiment, I think we've proven that for women today, and really for people as a whole, because again, respecting women or respecting anyone just doesn't apply to women or to men or like. So yeah, feminists, it's not all about the patriarchy. It's about everyone just treating everyone fair. We can't really consciously pick between these two candidates, right?
They're both equally shitty.
Right. What? Oh, jeez. Oh, you said equally.
Well, they're both shitty.
Well, they're both shitty. I'm sorry. I am biased. I am voting for one of them. I will not say who, though. But moving past this, there's also a third-party candidate who's on the rise. Peyton, what do you know about the third party?
Absolutely nothing.
I mean, you know Gary Johnson, though, right?
The weed guy?
Yeah, he's a weed guy. Yeah. He talked about weed and wanting to be president.
And the legalization of it. And...
Do they really have another platform?
Oh, he also wanted to legalize cannabis.
He was the governor of New Mexico. He was running as Republican. But now he's a Libertarian candidate. And basically he's really done nothing. But people look to the third party candidates like Gary Johnson for principles, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the principled vote. I can't in good conscience vote for the pedophile lawyer and the possibly pedophile. So let's go to the third party. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is what principle sounds like.
The foreign leader question.
What would you do if you were elected about Aleppo?
About
Aleppo.
And what is Aleppo?
You're kidding.
No.
Name a foreign leader that you respect. I get.
Wait, quick thing. Do you know where Aleppo is, Peyton?
Nope.
Okay. Follow-up question. Are you running for president?
Can't say I am.
Ah, that brings up an interesting question. I know where Aleppo is. I'm not running for president. But would you say that out of the three of us, who should be the guy who knows where Aleppo is?
I would think the, future potential commander-in-chief.
That might help. That might help.
Just a bit.
Just a tad. I mean, I've heard of people coming to this guy's defense saying like, well, not a lot of Americans know where Aleppo is, so it's okay. Not a lot of Americans are trying to convince the rest of America to vote for him, to lead our military, to lead our foreign policy, to lead the country. That's horrifying. Oh Lord. And then the rest of this clip is good too. Just listen.
I'm having an Aleppo moment in the former president of Mexico.
But I'm giving you the whole world.
I know.
Anybody in the world you like. Anybody. Pick any leader.
Both of the mainstream candidates.
Okay. Quick thing before we go to the rest of the clip. He was asked, pick just one of the world leaders that you have respect for. I don't even think the question was limited to people who are alive. He couldn't come up with one. And he even admits that it's a stupid moment by him saying like, I'm having an Aleppo moment. Like, oh Gary, oh Uncle Gary, go back to fucking Florida or whatever like retirement state home that you've escaped from and stop trying to be our president. Please, Gary. Please.
Are more unpopular than any other mainstream candidates in modern history. So I guess the question is, why are you doing so badly?
I would argue just the opposite. This is phenomenal. We got 12 million bucks. We're at 10% plus in the polls. We're leading among independents, among young people, among active military personnel.
I love that part right there.
Among active personnel.
Yep. Gary Johnson argues that this is a great time for him and his third party because he's leading among active military personnel. If you were still in the military, Peyton, because you were in the military, wouldn't you vote for the guy that doesn't know where Aleppo is just for the fact that it can't send you to Aleppo?
I mean, it's the best way out of, not dying.
Yeah, like, the president can't send you to Aleppo if he doesn't know where it is. I mean, Christ, Gary, Christ.
This is a celebration.
But you're not at 10% in the polls. You were at 10% in the polls. You're near 6.1%.
The reporter's getting
Well,
cold.
this is real clear politics. That was one of my yelling points.
This is taken from The Guardian, by the way.
You know what? I mean, pick your poll. Pick your poll.
But
If you want to say I'm at 6.1%, yesterday I was in Virginia, 15%. New Mexico, I'm at 24. I don't know where 6.1% comes from. I have no idea.
I'll tell you where it comes from. It comes from an average of all of the polls. So it takes all of the polls, it looks at the consensus.
Well,
and
why
it's
are you
6%.
here then at 6.1%? Why are you even interviewing me? I don't get it. If I'm doing so poorly, is this to preside over a funeral here? It's not a funeral, it's a celebration.
So how would you then explain how Evan McMullin is currently tied with Clinton and Trump in Utah?
Why are you
He's
here?
from
Maybe
Utah.
because you're a
He's on the
candidate
ballot in
and
11 states.
I'm a
Kind
fucking
of
reporter.
Presidency, but he's a Utahn. He's ensuring that Hillary Clinton will win Utah. And you know what? He is what he is, and I begrudge no one for entering the race.
That's the spoiler argument.
Look, you asked me. I'm not labeling it spoiler. I'm just telling you what I think the reality is.
Tell me what you think about taxation, because I know that's one of the policies of yours which has been garnered most attention. Could you just kind of summarize it for us in a nutshell?
Well, that there be certainty, and neither Bill Weld nor myself, in our 2 terms each as governors, raised taxes a penny. So there's a certainty.
That's a lie.
Taxes will not go
Google
up.
it.
Look, we're not getting elected king or dictator. If Congress passes tax reduction, tax simplification, look, I sign on to it. But I also recognize that government picks winners and losers, that crony capitalism is alive and well. And having been governor, I vetoed a lot of legislation that was going to give unfair advantage to companies that already had unfair.
I'm
and
skipping
how
that.
they actually
Abolish the IRS, abolish corporation tax and replace it with effectively one large sales tax, and think that makes sense.
well, like I say, we have a difference of opinion.
I'm not saying that you and I disagree. I'm saying most of the world's major economies, most of the world's major economists disagree with you.
Look, I don't want to argue. I don't want.
The candidate for the presidency does not want to argue or defend his opinion or his potential policy. He doesn't want to argue, Peyton.
Well, look, I mean, would you want a president that argues? It's like, what if Putin comes over? It's like, hey, I want this. It's like, okay, I don't want to argue with you.
And then just hand it to him.
Yeah.
You know? We want peace in the Middle East, so let's just give him everything we got.
To argue, really.
But it's not a
I'm
question of
providing,
arguing.
look, I came out for the legalization of marijuana. Let me just use that as an example. And I will tell you that I had people in my face for years and years and years talking about how stupid and how idiotic it was that we should allow marijuana to be legal.
But what's that got to do with your tax policy?
It's leadership. It is leadership.
Oh, Gary Johnson, you're not a leader. You're an SJW. Wouldn't you say, Peyton?
I mean, he has that thing about marijuana, so at least he has something. Gold star for effort, Gary.
Gold star, Gary. But, I mean, other than the whole pot thing, he really doesn't come across... He really does come across as, like, a college campus, left-leaning, ultra-liberalized SJW social justice warrior.
Basically.
Yeah, and here's the last clip that we have. The last clip we have of Gary Johnson.
Speaking of work visas, you have defended President Obama's executive amnesty action where he basically decided unilaterally that he was going to issue work visas to millions of adult illegal immigrants who are here in the country.
Undocumented, by the way. If you use the term illegal immigrants, that is very incendiary to our Hispanic population here in this country.
Why is that?
It just is. It just is. Just so that you know. Just so that you know and you don't have to use that term.
But isn't the term accurate in the sense that they entered the country, they immigrated to the country illegally, so they are...
They came into this country because they couldn't get in legally, and the jobs existed. And you...
Wait, Peyton, what exactly were you saying?
I mean, that was physically painful. It's like, it's offensive, because it just is.
It's incendiary. I hate that term. I loathe that term. I remember when Trump first started his campaign for presidency, I did agree that a lot of his terms were, like a lot of his phrases and his sentences, I mean, his speeches were offensive. Like the whole thing about Mexicans. I'm not Mexican. But what ended up happening was that as a Latino American, as Hispanic, man of Hispanic descent, I ended up kind of getting harassed a little bit every now and then. One of the clearest examples, I mean, it didn't really happen a lot. I want to stress that. It was not like some sort of like sudden spike, you know? I mean, I live in a like primarily, I went to like a primarily white Catholic high school. You know, there were a couple cracks about like, you know, oh, Trump's going to build a wall and kick you out. Like, that's not offensive. Like, that's not...
They didn't send you off to camp?
Nah. Like, I was a little annoyed by that. But the clearest example was whenever my mom came home from work and talked about a customer who fussed at her for basically having an accent. He said, like, you know, well, I want someone who speaks English. And my mom has been here for like 18 years, probably even more. Yeah, I'm pretty sure over 18 years. Yeah, 19 years. Over 19 years. Little over 19 years. Sorry, I keep changing the number. And she speaks English extremely well. Extremely well. I mean, she has an accent, yeah. But it was painful for me to hear that. But at the same time, I hate how everyone in America seems to really just want to generalize and cut a line between everything. If you're Hispanic, you have to support illegal immigration. You have to support amnesty. You have to hate Donald Trump. You have to be pro-Hillary. Like, none of these things are true. My mom, as a legal immigrant to this country, firmly believes in stopping illegal immigration. Because she doesn't think it's fair, and I agree with this, that if she has to go through the entire process of coming to this country legally,
which is completely inefficient and hell of a process.
It needs to be reformed. But we shouldn't encourage and be okay with people coming to this country illegally either. We literally have benefits where, I mean, it makes it seem like being an illegal immigrant is way more fun than being a legal immigrant, you know? Like, that's really fucked up. Like,
I've been thinking about renouncing my citizenship and then sneaking back into the country.
Right, just go up to Canada or go back to, or not go back, but like, go south. You dirty Mexican. You're like the whitest guy I know. But like sneak down or sneak up and just come back and pretend your name is Pedro Trudeau or something, you know? Be both Canadian and Mexican, just so you're multi-diverse.
Double immigration.
Right, and here's this guy saying that the term illegal is incendiary because it can hurt people's feelings. Well, I'm sorry, Gare, but they came here illegally. The shorthand term is illegal. You know? Mm-hmm. They're illegal immigrants. No one wants to spend like oh my god, like it's just a shorthand term. It's like saying, I don't know, it's calling like white or black instead of saying like African American or Caucasian American, because you sound like a douche if you spend every single sentence. Yeah, if you spend every single sentence going out of your way, African American, Caucasian American, illegal immigrant.
And then you get like a black person from the UK and you're just like, what do I say?
Yeah.
What do I say?
Stop being full of yourself. Get your head out of your own ass and just be proud to say illegal, black, and white. Heaven forbid you might actually hurt someone's feelings. Boo-hoo. So wait, I want to play the rest of this clip, because this is just, oh, Gare.
You or I would have done the same thing. And we're talking about now, coming from New Mexico, a population with 48% Hispanic, how's the crackdown on 11 million undocumented workers
He
going to
was the
work
governor for New
out?
Mexico, I remember.
It's going to be dragging people from their homes. That's how it's going to work out. It's going to be checking your papers house to house. And I got to tell you, what Donald Trump is saying regarding immigration could not be more incendiary. It is insulting to me coming from New Mexico.
Isn't it?
I mean,
I came from New Mexico, which is basically Mexico, so it insults me! It insults me, Mr. Reporter Man! It insults me!
I see what you mean by incendiary, though. Like, unless you're talking about C4 or something, it doesn't belong in a sentence.
You're a douche. You're a douche if you use the term incendiary. You just want people to feel bad and feel like they hurt someone's feelings. Well, welcome to reality. Sometimes people don't give a shit.
Well, we should start using other, weapon terms for comments. Like, how dare you call me, an immigrant? That is an armor-piercing comment.
That's an armor-piercing comment. God, stop being so ballistic. Christ. But I just feel like all the way around the table, Gary Johnson is not the principal candidate that the Libertarian Party would have hoped for. Donald Trump certainly is not the most respectful or decent human being around. And Hillary Clinton is
fails on the professional level.
Yeah, and she is not the feminist warrior. She's not the law and order candidate or she's... You know what she is? She's a criminal. Plain and simple. People will argue like, oh, what? It's just a private server. When you're at that level of national security, putting very powerful, very vital documents on a private server in a private email like that, that's how Gary Johnson would say, incendiary. That's incendiary to our national security. That is that, in all honesty, is a crime. It's a crime. And whether you may think it's okay or not, that's still a part of the law. And she, as, you know, Secretary of State, should have known and did know. She feigns ignorance, but she knew. She knew. And I think it just says something about our generation, that these are the candidates we're presented with. And this may kind of seem as sort of like a pro Jill Stein thing, since we didn't really say anything bad about her. That's because I don't know anything about her. I could probably bring up some reason not to vote for her. I mean, what would you say?
Reasons?
I mean, if anything, she rocks a pantsuit better than Hillary.
You gotta admit that. Third party candidates definitely need more exposure, I guess, in the media.
So no pantsuit, just run around naked?
That would definitely get some attention.
Oh, we need to contact the campaign headquarters for Gary Johnson. He goes on bike rides a lot apparently, so we should just get him to like bike ride naked. That'll work, right? I should do it. Yep.
I'd have more respect for him then.
I would probably still despise him, but you know, maybe a little bit more entertainment, I guess. So yeah. Alright, you want to stop here?
I think it's a good stopping point.
Yep. Alright, well, join us next week when the topic will be...
That's a good one. Probably recounting after the election?
I mean, yeah. It'll be after the election by that time.
I'm glad I'm having dinner work done on the election day. Because I want to be numb for this.
I know. I mean, honestly, I might join you at your dentist appointment. Just, like, try to see if I can, like, borrow some of that laughing gas. Maybe, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Anyway, this has been the UberSenapis podcast, episode 2, with co-hosts Peyton and Madison.